Question 10 asks us to make a table of values and graph the following relation: y equals 10 to the power of x. It asks us to use at least 10 different values for x spanning -2 and +1 and make your graph as accurate as you can. Use your calculator to find the values of y for these different values of x and make an appropriate scale. So using these values for x that we've been given, I filled out the column for y. So what I've done here is so our function is y equals 10 to the power of x. So for this first point, for example, it's y equals 10 to the power of -2. 10 to the power of -2 is 0.01. So that's our y value for -2. So I've just done this using all these x values. Some of these I've rounded. And so see if you can get the same values here. So for the graph, I've drawn my x and y axis. You can see that my scale for the x-axis is much more spaced out than for the y because our range of y values is much bigger. So starting to plot some of these points, I'm going to do the easy ones first. So when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. So that means that we cross the y-axis here at 1. When x is equal to 1, y is equal to 10. So that's a point up here. And so looking at when x is less than 0, or these negative numbers. So when x is negative 0.5, y is around 0.3. So that's going to be somewhere around here. And then as x gets becomes bigger, greater negative numbers, y gets smaller and smaller. So we're getting closer and closer to the x-axis here. So this is going to look something like this and this. So our function on this side goes up like that. Okay, and so when x is greater than 0, so when x is 1/3, we have around 2. So let's say 1/3 is about here. We have around 2. When x is 1/2, we have around 3, just over 3. X is 0.7, it's around 5. So that's around here. When x is 0.9, so almost 1, we're just under 8. So that's about here. So we can see that on this side, we sweep up that way. So our function kind of goes like this. Sorry, that line's a bit squiggly, but you can see what the function sort of looks like. Okay, and so we're then asked, how is this graph related to the one you made in class? So if you remember the one we made in class, it asked us to plot y equals log base 10 of x. And so another way of writing that is x equals 10 to the power of y, right? This log is saying 10 to the power of what equals x. So 10 to the power of y equals x is a function we graphed in class. Now what we're doing is y equals 10 to the power of x. So we've just switched our x and y, right? And so essentially what this means is that our functions are reflections of each other in the line y equals x. So these graphs are related. They're reflections in the line y equals x, which kind of goes right up the middle. And that's kind of hard to see because our scales are not quite equal. But if you make the scales of the two graphs equal, you can see that all we've done is reflected each point in this line. So that's how the graphs are related. And this is the graph for y equals 10 to the power of x. So those are the answers to question 10.